Welcome everyone to yoga. We're going to start on our backs today. This is going to be kind of a more gentle, easygoing practice. It's the end of the week, it's Friday. So a lot of us are just a little tired, so we're going to do kind of a gentler practice today. So starting on our backs, so go ahead and lie down. Coming into any comfortable position you choose on your back. So you can have your knees bent or your legs straight, whatever feels best for you today. And we'll just spend a couple moments here to just connect with the breath, taking some nice, full, deep inhales and exhales, and just letting go of everything else. Just allowing your body to sink into the mat. And let's all go ahead and bend our knees now, walking the feet out towards the edges of the mat so the knees rest in against each other. And then moving the arms away from the body a little bit, we'll begin with our windshield wipers. So just taking those knees from side to side, just going back and forth at your own pace. So take a couple more to each side. And bringing those knees into the center, walking the feet in towards each other a little bit so they're back a bit apart. Taking arms all the way out into a T, and then we'll drop both knees to the right for a lying spinal twist, keeping both shoulders on the mat, maybe turning the head to look down your left arm. Releasing, bringing the knees and the head up to center, dropping the knees over to the left, maybe looking down your right arm. And we'll start to move this with the breath, inhaling knees up to center, exhaling them to the right, inhaling them to center, and then exhaling them to the left. We'll just continue to move with the breath, inhaling knees through center, exhaling, alternating from side to side. You can keep your feet on the mat or pick them up and bring the knees in closer to your chest. Keeping the head still or looking in the opposite direction of the knees as you twist. And we'll keep both shoulders on the mat. Let's take a couple more to each side. And we'll release, hugging the knees into the chest. And let's go ahead and extend the right leg out long, taking the right arm out into a T. And then we're going to roll over onto the right side, bringing the left knee across the body. So we're resting on our side, and you might want to put something underneath your head. I'm going to grab a little foam block so that my neck stays in alignment. And then I'm going to place my left hand on top of the right, so the palms are meeting. And then keeping the lower body fairly still. On the inhale, we're going to open the arm up and twist and then come back. So the knee can lift off of the mat if we want a little bit. Inhaling as we open, exhaling as we close. Let's take a couple more and then we'll do the same on the other side. Let's do one more. And then we'll roll over to the other side. Left leg is straight, right knee is bent. Left arm extends out to the side into that T. Bringing that right knee across the body. So it's resting on the mat. And then we'll bring the right hand on top of the left. And then again, inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. You can keep your gaze on your right hand as you twist. Let's do one more here. And release. You can remove the block from underneath your head and roll onto the back. Let's take the arms out into that T position again. And then we're going to create a figure four with the legs. So we'll take the left ankle across the right knee. And then we're going to twist again. So we're going to drop our left foot down to the floor and then come back up to center. So we'll just do a few of these. Maybe 4 on each side. Let's do one more on this side. And then release and switch. So right foot goes across the left knee, making that figure four. And then we'll take those toes down to the floor. Let's do one more here. And then when we're done, we'll uncross the legs, hug the knees into the chest. Give them a little squeeze. Releasing the feet down to the mat. Walking the feet in towards the bottom a bit, making sure feet are hip width apart and parallel. Hands come down next to our hips with the palms down. On your next inhale, lifting the hips up toward the ceiling into a bridge. Exhaling, releasing. Let's do a few like that. Inhale, lifting. Exhaling, releasing. A couple more here. And one more, and then we're going to add an optional arm movement to this. So on your next inhale, if you like, reach the arms up overhead. Exhaling, releasing it down. Moving with your breath at your pace. Inhaling, lifting and reaching. Exhaling, releasing. Let's take a couple more here. And last one. And release, hug the knees into the chest. Take some rocks from side to side. Placing hands on kneecaps and circling them around, first in one direction. And then in the opposite direction. Returning to center, rolling onto one side, resting the head on the arm. Taking a few breaths here. And then using your hands to press your way up into a comfortable seat. So you could sit cross-legged if you like. You can extend your legs out in front of you into staff pose. You can sit on a blanket if you've got one. Sitting up nice and tall. Let's roll our shoulders up, back, and down. And we'll drop the chin down towards the chest. Lifting the head back up, coming into neutral, and then we're going to take the right ear towards the right shoulder. Keeping both shoulders down. And then turning the head, dropping the chin down towards that right shoulder. Rotating the head again, so we're looking forward. And then bring the head up to neutral. Dropping the left ear over towards the left shoulder. And then rotating the head, dropping the chin down towards your left shoulder. We'll rotate the head again, looking forward. And then bring the head back to neutral. Dropping the chin down to the chest again. Lifting the head back up and then taking the hands behind the head to support it, looking all the way up. And releasing. We'll take some shoulder circles, first circling those shoulders to the front. And let's take one more circle to the front, and then we'll circle to the back. And then we'll take one more, leaving those shoulders back and down, placing hands on knees, circling the torso around in the hips, inhaling to the front, exhaling to the back, moving with your breath, making these circles as large or small as you'd like. Let's take one more circle in this direction, pausing, and then we'll circle around in the opposite direction again, inhaling to the front and exhaling to the back. Move with your breath at your pace, making these circles as large or as small as you'd like. Let's take a couple more. And last one. Coming back to center. Let's come into easy pose. So let's separate our legs a little bit so that we can see both of our feet and our ankles are lined up. And then we'll just walk the hands out to the front, dropping the head between the arms once we've taken them out as far as we'd like. And then we'll lift the head up and walk our hands away from our front leg. So if your right leg is in front, walk your hands to your left or vice versa. And then we'll drop the head back between the arms. Lifting the head up, walking the hands to center, bringing them in. Let's switch our legs, taking the other leg in front. Again, separate your legs enough so that you can see both of your feet and your ankles are lined up. And then we'll walk the hands out to the front again, dropping the head between the arms. And we'll lift the head and walk the hands away from that front leg over to the other side, dropping the head again. Lifting the head, walking the hands to center, bringing them in. And let's make our way to all fours for some cat and cows. So bringing the wrists underneath the shoulders and knees under the hips. Fingers spread wide. You can pad your knees with a blanket or by folding up your mat. On your next inhale, dipping the belly down and looking up into cow. Exhaling as we arch the spine, tucking the chin, the pelvis under into cat. Moving with your breath at your pace. Inhaling and exhaling. Just warming up the spine a little bit more. Keeping elbows a little bit soft. Core is engaged, pelvic floor is lifted. Take a few more in each direction. Taking one more in each direction. Returning to a neutral spine. Inhaling, reaching the right arm out to the side, bring it up, twist. Exhaling, threading the needle, reaching that right arm through, taking the right side of the head down to the mat or a block. Your left hand can stay by your face, or you can extend that arm, either reaching it out towards the front of the mat. You can reach that arm up toward the ceiling, or you can bring it behind the back, reaching for your right hip. So taking that left arm to the place that feels best for you and your shoulders today. And we'll bring that left hand back by the face, leaving your right arm where it is, picking the head up, taking the left arm across for modified knot, releasing the head down to the mat, and then pressing the backs of the hands into the floor, creating space between our shoulders, opening up the upper back. And we'll release that, coming back to all fours, switching sides, left arm reaches out and up. And we'll twist to reach that left arm through. Take the left side of the head down. Right hand can stay by your face, or again, you can extend that arm out to the front. Reach it up toward the ceiling or bring it behind your back, reaching for your left hip. So you don't have to do the same thing on this side that you did on the first side. You can do something different if it feels right for your body today. And we'll bring that right hand back by the face, leaving your left arm where it is, picking the head up, taking the right arm across for modified knot, releasing the forehead, and then pressing the backs of the hands into the floor. Open up the shoulder blades. And release, coming back to all fours. Let's step ourselves back a little bit on the mat so we have a little more space in front of us. And then we'll walk the hands out to the front, coming into puppy pose, dropping the head between the arms. You can keep your elbows lifted off of the mat, or you can rest them down. You can rest your forehead on the mat as well. And then we'll lift the head and look forward, lowering the elbows to the mat, sliding the chest through the arms for Sphinx pose. Stacking the shoulders over the elbows. So I feel like mine are a little bit forward. I'm going to walk my hands out. Relaxing the lower body and the glutes. And then lifting up and out of the shoulders, maybe pulling slightly backwards with the hands to engage the spine. And then we're going to draw the chin in towards the throat, engage in Jalandhara. Keeping that chin tucked in, turn your head to look over your right shoulder. And then releasing through center, keeping that chin tucked in, looking over the left shoulder. Releasing back to center. Releasing the chest to the mat, extending the right arm straight out from the right shoulder into a T. Looking to your left, pressing the left hand into the mat, rolling to the right side of the body. Keep your legs stacked together, or if you like, step your left foot behind your right thigh to open up the pose a little bit more. Releasing back to the belly, bringing the right hand in, extending the left arm out to that T, looking to the right, pressing the right hand into the mat, rolling onto the left side of the body. Stay there or step your right foot behind your left thigh. Releasing onto the belly again, bringing the left hand in, pressing back into a child's pose. So any version of child's pose that you like, you can keep your arms extended out to the front of the mat, or you can stack your hands or fists and rest the forehead on them, or bring your hands back by your feet with your palms facing up. Your knees can stay together. You can separate them out if you like. Remembering you can rest in your child's pose anytime you need to take a break. Also remembering that this is your practice today. So if there's something that we do that doesn't work for you or your body, and you just want to skip it or modify it, please do so. Always listening to your own body, staying with your breath, staying in the present moment. So we can stay here a little longer if you like. You still need a little bit more rest, or if you're ready, make your way into downward facing dog, planting the hands at the front of the mat, shoulder width apart, fingers spread wide. We'll come forward and tuck the toes, lifting the hips up and back. Coming into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So if you like, you can pedal out your feet or make some other type of movement in this first downward dog. You can also shake out your head or take one leg up in a three-legged dog at a time. Pivot your heels from side to side. You can also just be still in your downward dog. That's fine too. Eventually, we'll all make our way into that place of stillness, tucking the chin, looking back between the legs. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. And then we'll look up at the hands and just walk the feet up to the hands. Coming into forward fold. Feet are hip width apart. We'll soften our knees, grabbing the opposite elbows, letting that upper body just hang. Shaking the head out from side to side. Taking it front to back. Swaying the whole torso from side to side. Coming back to center, releasing the elbows, placing hands on shins or thighs, extending the spine, looking forward, take a few deep breaths here. On your next exhale, fold. Softening the knees, inhale, reverse swan dive, come all the way up. Exhaling the hands into the heart. And then releasing the arms down into Tadasana Mountain Pose. Let's go ahead and take a nice big step out to the side for our moonflowers and sunflowers. So nice wide stance, toes turned out 45 degrees. Inhaling as we reach the corners of the room. Exhaling as we bend our knees, bring the elbows into the sides, and inhale, reach it up and out. Exhaling as we bend. Couple more here, inhale and exhale. Last one. Exhale down, transition into sunflowers. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up, palms touch. Exhale, bend the knees, circle the arms down and around as we fold, and inhale brings us back up. Exhaling as we fold. Couple more here, inhale. And exhale. Last one. Exhale down, let's leave our hands down. You can widen your stance a little bit if you want, but keep those toes turned out 45 degrees. And then we're gonna bend one knee at a time, going back and forth. You can keep your hands in the center, or you can walk them from side to side. Let's do one more to each side. Returning to center where we're done, bending both knees, walking the hands up onto the thighs. Leaning slightly forward here, engaging the core, pressing the right hand into the right thigh, looking over your left shoulder, dropping that right shoulder down. Releasing and switching sides. Releasing to center, inhaling, reaching the arms up, straightening out the legs. Stepping the feet together at the top of the mat, bringing the hands together, heart center. And then releasing the arms down into Tadasana Mountain Pose. Taking a few deep breaths here. So we are going to do sun salutations today. We're going to kind of pause in the middle to do lizard. So I guess I'll take this later off. I'll probably want to. Okay, let's put that over there. All right, starting out near the top of the mat, inhaling, reaching arms up. Exhaling as we swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees. Stepping the right foot back. Dropping that right knee down, bring the left hand to the right of the foot, keeping the arms extended, or if you like, bending them and lowering your chest down towards the mat into lizard pose. Holding here for a couple of breaths, breathing into that left hip. One more inhale here, straighten the arms if you bent them. Exhale, take your left foot back, downward dog or child's pose. Inhaling forward to plank, shoulders over wrists, stay on your toes or drop your knees. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or dog. Exhale, downward dog or child's pose. Stepping the right foot up by the hands. Stay on the toes or drop the left knee, inhaling, reaching arms up. Exhaling them down and taking the left foot up to the front, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come up. Exhale the hands into the heart. We'll repeat that on the other side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold with soft knees. Left foot steps back, dropping that left knee down, taking the right hand to the left of your foot. Keep your arms straight or bend the elbows and start to lower down towards the earth into that lizard pose. Holding for a few breaths. Inhale, straighten the arms if they've bent. Exhale, take that right foot back, downward dog or child's pose. Inhaling to plank. Stay on the toes or drop the knees. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward dog or child's pose. Stepping the left foot up by the hands. Stay on your toes or drop your right knee. Inhaling, reaching arms up. Exhaling them down, taking the right foot to the front. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come up. Exhale the hands to the heart. We'll do that once more on each side. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold with soft knees, hands to the mat, right foot back. Dropping that right knee, bringing the left hand to the right of the foot. Staying here with the arms straight or lowering the chest down towards the mat. Using your sinking breath. Inhaling, lengthening the spine, exhaling, deepening the pose. Inhale, straighten the arms. Exhale, take the left foot back, downward dog or child's pose. Inhaling to plank, shoulders over wrists, stay on your toes or drop your knees. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or dog. Exhale, downward dog or child's pose. Right foot steps up by the hands. Stay on toes or drop your left knee. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhaling them down, taking the left foot to the front, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come up. Exhale the hands into the heart. And we'll do that once more on the left. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold with soft knees. Left foot steps back, lowering that left knee. Bring the right hand to the left of the foot. Holding here with the arm straight or lowering it down. On your next inhale, lift back up. Exhale, take the right foot back, downward dog or child's pose. Inhaling to plank. Stay on the toes or drop the knees. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or dog. Exhale, downward dog or child's pose. Stepping the left foot up by the hands. Stay on the toes or drop the right knee. Inhaling, reaching arms up. Exhale, release, taking your right foot to the front. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come up. Exhaling the hands into the heart. And releasing the arms down by the sides into Tadasana Mountain Pose. Taking a few deep breaths here, open mouth exhales if you need them. Slowing it down. Inhaling, reaching arms up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees. Bringing the hands to the mat, stepping the right foot back. Turning that foot out 45 degrees and dropping the heel, coming up for warrior one, walking our way up the left leg. And if you want to adjust your hips, using your right hand to gently guide your right hip forward. Leveling out those hips too if you need to, and then whatever arms you like for your warrior one. Relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Breathing here. Let's open it up into warrior two. Turning the back foot out a little bit more, up to 90 degrees. Extending the arms out parallel to the floor, keeping that left knee pointing straight over the left toes. Shoulders are stacked over the hips, so relaxing them down away from the ears. Straightening out the left leg, shifting hips back as we reach forward with the left fingertips, dropping that left hand down, coming into triangle Utthita Trikonasana. You can rest your left hand anywhere on your left leg except for the knee joint. You can bring in a block or take the hand all the way down to the mat. Right arm can reach straight up toward the ceiling. You can rest that arm on your side. You could bring it behind your back. And then we're going to stand this back up. So reaching the arms out parallel to the floor again. Releasing the hands and the hips, turning the left foot in so it is parallel with the right. You could also be slightly pigeon-toed with your feet slightly, the toes kind of closer into each other. With hands on hips, we're going to inhale and lengthen the spine, looking up. Exhaling as we fold. Releasing the hands down to the floor. You can widen your stance once you're down. You could bend your knees if you like. Let's inhale, lengthen the spine, bring the weight a little bit more forward in the feet. Exhale, deep in the fold. You can walk your hands back through your legs, releasing the top of the head down towards the mat. If you're kind of close, but not quite there, you can always bring in a block and place your head on that block. And then we're going to lift the head and walk the hands out. We're going to walk them a couple of feet off the side of the mat, coming into a wide-legged downward dog. So we want to make sure that our hands are really well seated into the floor. Fingers are spread nice and wide, pressing the entire surface of our hands into the floor. And then we'll drop the head between the arms again, looking back between the legs. And then we'll walk our hands back towards the mat, walking them around to the front of the mat. Let's step our left foot back into downward dog. And then from here, we'll take that right foot up by the hands, turning the left foot out 45 degrees, dropping the heel, walking up the right leg for warrior one on the other side. So again, if you want to, you can adjust your hips using your left hand to gently guide your left hip forward, leveling out those hips if they need to be leveled out. And then finding whatever arm position works for you in this pose, relaxing the shoulders, breathing here. Opening it up into warrior two, spinning the back foot out a little bit more, making sure your right knee is still tracking over your right toes. Shoulders are stacked over the hips and relaxed away from the ears. Breathing here. Straightening out the right leg, shifting hips back as we reach for the front, dropping that right hand down into triangle, maybe resting your hand on the leg, a block or the mat, left arm reaches up toward the ceiling. You could rest on your side or right behind your back. And then we'll stand it back up. Releasing the hands to the hips once we're up, turning the right foot in so it is parallel with the left, or again, we could be a little bit pigeon-toed if that feels better for your ankles. And then this time we're going to clasp the hands together behind the back. Inhaling, opening the heart, looking up. Exhaling as we fold. And then once you're down, you can widen your stance or bend your knees. You can release the top of the head down to a block or the mat. And then let your arms start to move away from your back. At the same time, lift your shoulders up away from your ears so they're not kind of crowding into the neck. Breathing here. Releasing the hands down, pressing the hands into the mat, lifting the head. Take a few deep breaths here. And then we'll walk the hands to the front of the mat, turning the feet, stepping the left foot up to the front, and reverse swan dive. Come all the way up. Exhale the hands into the heart. And we'll release the arms down into Tadasana Mountain Pose. So for our standing balance today, let's do balancing pigeon. I don't think we've done that one in a while. So if you want to step off of your mat or move closer to a wall for your standing balance, you may. If you don't want to do balancing pigeon, choose your favorite standing balance or arm balance and do that instead while we're doing balancing pigeon. So we'll start by bringing our feet hip width apart and parallel. Toes are spread and relaxed. Core is engaged, pelvic floor is lifted. gazing at a focal point, so finding a spot on the floor or the wall, something that does not move. And then we'll place our hands on our hips and just sink the hips down like we're having a seat in a chair. And then we'll shift the weight onto our right leg and take the left ankle across the right thigh. We're making like a figure four. And then we'll bring the hands into the heart, sinking the hips a little bit more. And then if you want a little bit more into the hip and a little help with your balance, you can fold all the way down, releasing your fingertips to the floor. So this will give you a little help with the balance. It's going to challenge the stretch in your left hip, make it a little bit more intense. And then if you brought your fingertips down to the floor, slowly, slowly come back up. You don't want to rush because you'll probably fall out of the pose if you do. And then we'll all release, rolling out the right ankle. A couple times in each direction, reset. Re-engage your Pada Bandha, foot seal, Mula Bandha, lifting the pelvic floor, Uddiyana Bandha, drawing the abdominals in, Jalandhara Bandha, drawing that chin in towards the floor. Hands come to the hips. We're gazing at our drishti again, our focal point, and then we'll sink the hips back and down. Have a seat in your imaginary chair. Shifting weight onto the left leg, taking the right ankle across the left thigh for that figure four. And then bring the hands into the heart, sinking the hips a little bit more. Maybe folding, releasing your fingertips down to the floor. If you folded, slowly, slowly come back up. And we'll all release, circling out your left ankle. And making our way back up to the top of the mat. Inhaling, reaching arms up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees, stepping the feet back one at a time. Coming into downward dog. And from there, we'll drop the knees and come into a full child's pose. So we're going to bring the hands back by the feet, flipping the palms up, releasing the head down to the mat. From here, we're going to clasp our hands together behind the back. And then we're going to lift the hips up, rolling to the top of the head, starting to move the hands away from the back. And again, lifting the shoulders up away from the ears, like we did in our wide-legged fold with the chest expansion, also known as prasarita. And we'll release back into that full child's pose. And then we'll press our way up to a seat, taking the legs around to the front, coming into staff pose, Dandasana. Extending the legs out long. You can move some of the flesh out from underneath your sit bones. You can sit on a blanket if you have one. You can grab a strap if you'd like for our next pose. Inhaling, reaching arms up. Exhaling as we fold, hinging from the hips. So reaching for your feet, your ankles, your shins, or underneath your thighs, excuse me. Inhaling, lengthening the spine, exhaling, deepening the fold. Oh, or you can use your strap. I just said you can have a strap. If you want to use that strap, loop it around the bottoms of the feet and pull on the ends. And this helps us to keep our shoulders relaxed away from the ears so we're not reaching for the feet by bringing our shoulders up towards our ears. Using that sinking breath again. And then we'll release that fold. If you're using a strap, leaving it wrapped around the bottom of your left foot and just pulling your right foot out. Bending the right knee and letting that knee open out to the right side for Janu Shirshasana. You can prop underneath the knee if you like, placing one hand on either side of the left leg, turning the chest to face the leg, inhaling as we lengthen the spine, exhaling as we fold. So you can reach for your foot, your strap or anywhere along the leg if you like. You can take a cross grip with your hands, crossing at the wrists, reaching for opposite sides of the foot or leg. And that helps us to center the chest over the leg a little bit better. And we'll release coming up, bringing the right knee up. We'll step that foot up and over to the outside of your left thigh. You can leave your left leg straight, or if you want, bend it underneath you, hugging the knee with the left arm. The right arm comes behind us and we twist. So we can stay here, hugging the knee. You can bring your elbow past your knee, or if you want, you can bind the pose, reaching the left arm between the legs, coming behind the back with the right, reaching for your shirt, the strap, or your fingers. We'll release that twist, extending the right leg out long, bending the left knee, letting that knee open out to the left side, maybe propping the knee, maybe setting off the strap around the bottom of your right foot, placing one hand on either side of the right leg, turning the chest to face the leg, inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold. Reaching again for your foot strap or anywhere along the leg, maybe taking that cross grip with your hands. And we'll release, coming up, bringing the left knee up, stepping that foot up and over, keeping your right leg straight or bending it underneath you, hugging the knee with the right arm, the left arm comes behind us and we twist. And again, you can stay hugging your knee. You can bring your elbow past your knee, or if you want, you can bind the pose. And we'll release. Uncrossing the legs and then rolling it all the way down onto the back. You can hold on behind your knees, or you can challenge your core a little bit by not holding on and going down nice and slow. Once we're down, hugging the knees into the chest, taking some rocks from side to side, massaging that low back. Placing hands on kneecaps, circling them around first in one direction, and then in the opposite direction. Returning to center, hugging the right knee and releasing your left leg, giving the right knee a squeeze. Reaching that right leg up toward the ceiling, pointing and flexing the foot a few times. Circling that foot around first in one direction, and then in the opposite direction. Grabbing anywhere along the leg or using your strap, pulling the right leg in for hamstring stretch. Your left leg can be bent, or you can straighten that leg out along the floor. Extending the right leg out towards the right side, keeping your left side on the mat. You can place your left hand onto your hip to hold it down, or just activate the muscles in your left leg to make that side of your body heavy. And then taking that right leg up and across the body over to left, reaching the right arm out into a T, keeping your right shoulder on the mat, maybe also looking down that right arm. And we'll release, bring the right leg back up, bending both knees, crossing the right ankle over the left thigh, reaching your right arm through and pulling on the left leg, lining that left knee up with your left shoulder. Releasing the right leg, hugging the left knee in. Reaching that left leg up, pointing and flexing the foot. And then circling around, first in one direction, and then in the opposite direction. Grabbing anywhere along the leg or using a strap, pulling the left leg in towards you for a hamstring stretch. Your right leg may be bent or straight. Extending that left leg out towards the left side, keeping your right side on the mat. You hold it there with your hand or activate the muscles in that right leg. And then taking the left leg up and across the body over to the right, reaching the left arm out into a T. Keeping your left shoulder on the mat, maybe looking down your left arm. And releasing, bring the left leg back up, bending both knees, crossing the left ankle over the right thigh, reaching the left arm through and pulling on the right leg. Lining that right knee up with your right shoulder. And releasing, hugging the knees into the chest. Extending arms out into a T. Either dropping both knees to your right, or if you like, you can cross your left leg over your right thigh first and then take your knees to the right. Keeping both shoulders on the mat, maybe looking down your left arm. And we'll release and switch sides. If you cross the legs one way, cross them the other way, we'll all take the knees to the left. And we'll release. Uncrossing the legs if they're crossed, hugging the knees into the chest, giving them a nice squeeze. And releasing it all down. So preparing for Shavasana, final relaxation. So if you want to put any layers back on, socks, sweatshirts, blankets, go ahead and make yourselves comfortable. And then I'm going to read a little guided visualization just to give your brain something to focus on. Closing the eyes. As you relax now and listen to my voice, think about yourself melting into the most comfortable bed. As your body lets go and goes limp, allow the feeling of weightlessness to take over. Feel yourself floating, weightless and free. Imagine yourself resting outside under a clear blue sky. And as you look up, you see a bird, seemingly motionless and buoyant. The bird floats along the gentle currents of the wind, moving effortlessly forward. As it moves, you move in harmony with the bird towards a state of serene relaxation. Imagine yourself rising and soaring away from your tension and frustration, motionless and buoyant on your own currents of relaxation. And we'll start to wiggle fingers and toes, circling ankles and wrists. And reaching the arms up overhead, just stretch. And release. Either rolling to one side or hugging the knees into the chest. Take a few deep breaths before you make your way up to seated. Making your way into any comfortable seat you choose to finish your practice this evening. Sitting up nice and tall and dropping the chin to the chest. Taking the right ear towards the right shoulder. And left ear to left shoulder. Bringing the head back up, taking the hands behind the head, looking all the way up. And releasing, taking 3 deep breaths, inhaling arms up. And exhaling them down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. One more time, inhaling it up. Bringing the hands together at heart center as we exhale. Delighting me honors aligning me. Namaste.